Buenísimas tardes. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, your favorite global realtor, Denise Macias. And today I have a spectacular show prepared for you from El Bajio in Mexico, an incredible region that I cannot wait to discuss with you. And once again, first, I want to thank you for spending time with me today and learning about these incredible opportunities around the world. I am your host, Denise Macias, and I've been in the business 15 years in incredible international business and working globally. And I want to bring all these experiences to you. So if you're an entrepreneur looking for your next business endeavor, this is your spot. If you're an investor looking to diversify your portfolio, this is your spot. And if you are a business professional looking to see where your next business endeavor may drive you, then you are in the correct place. And today I have an incredible show based for you. Today I have with me Victoria Avila. And Victoria is a strategic marketing and business development expert with an international academic background and deep focus on real estate sector since 2021. She is educated in Mexico and UK. Shout out to UK with combined expertise in marketing, PR, communication sciences with strong financial acumen. Her experience spans from market intelligence and leadership of high performance teams and is passionate about utilizing and analytical insights and strategic communication to drive high value real estate projects. And she is an incredible mother of a beautiful girl named Anna, who I've also had the pleasure of meeting.
Thank you.
So I want to welcome Victoria. And Victoria, today we're going to be talking about El Bajio. So let's
Yeah.
get started. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for the introduction, Denise. We miss you, Anna and I.
Oh, I miss you guys too. I think, out of all my journeys, I think you were the one that told me that people remember highlights, and I think that El Bajío was certainly a highlight of my life. I had an incredible experience visiting you with you and Ana sitting down in La Placita de San Miguel, just sitting down in the square and eating a duro. And I swear to you, I don't think I've eaten so much food. I loved every bit of it.
Oh, thank you, Denise. It was a very pleasure to have you here. And thank you for having me here in your podcast to talk to you about the Bajío a little bit more.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm so excited. Let's get into it. I know everybody's going
Yeah.
to be wanting to know about this. So, do you want to start with sharing your slides or do you want to get into the first question and then share your slides? How do you want the flow?
I think that we can do both and connect both if you want to.
Absolutely. You got it. So, just for everybody's knowledge, I actually met up with Victoria from Querétaro because I took a bus from Polanco, Ciudad de Mexico, all the way to Querétaro. And then that is where my dear friend Victoria picked me up. And from there, we started our journey together. And I wanted to highlight that because I know that there's a lot of people that are traveling for business and there's a lot of entrepreneurs that say, okay, so like, do I take a plane? You take a bus, and it's a luxury bus that takes you from El Globo. Well, I was actually in Central Nortes, North Central Station, bus station in Ciudad de Mexico. And that it's called El Globo, and that's where I got, it was like a $40 ticket, and I had a Wi-Fi on board. I had a beautiful, recliner. There's bathrooms, and so they're luxury buses that basically to go every hour from Ciudad de Mexico over to, Querétaro over to San Miguel de Allende, which is the region we're covering today. So, anyways,
Exactly.
the very first thing I want to discuss with you, Victoria, is the current economic climate. How do you describe the current economic climate in El Bajío, particularly in the aftermath of the pandemic?
Yeah, I'm going to share my presentation, Denise, because it has a little bit of this insight that you are requesting info, doing the question. So the Bajío is a region that it is conformed of these states: Querétaro, Guanajuato, Aguascalientes, San Luis Potosí, and Jalisco. That is the Bajío. It's in the center of Mexico. So we have it's not a single state because a lot of people think there is only Querétaro or only Guanajuato, but it's not. It's these five states, and it's integrated by the industrial and cultural corridor. And Querétaro it has a lot of the aerospace and data center, Guanajuato automotive, tourism, of course. You know, San Miguel de Allende is one of the top cities for the expats and retirees. Aguascalientes has a high-tech industrial specialization. San Luis is logistic for transportation and production. And Jalisco is a key nearshoring development, technical, technological innovation, agri-food industry, high value manufacturing, and the Western Corridor. So these states are El Bajío, and we are very well connected. As you know, Mexico City is just about 2 hours and a half from Querétaro in bus, maybe 3:30 in bus. Driving is 2.5. So it's very near to the biggest, one of the biggest city of the world, which is Mexico City. And then is very well connected to the second biggest city, which is Guadalajara, right? And the fourth biggest city of Mexico is Querétaro. So they are very near each other. And so that's why it's so important also El Bajío, right? Because you have great airports, get great connection, great school, great hospitals, etc. And it's a region that gives all this dynamic of industry, tech, agronomy, etc.
That's amazing. That's a wonderful breakdown of El Bajío. And as a matter of fact, I do know that when I first started my career, there was a tech company here in Idaho that also had an office in Aguascalientes, and it was a tech company. So I can see why you say high tech, and there's
Mhm.
definitely a lot of business that are happening. So thank you for that explanation on the region.
Yeah, it's very important. And for example, Siemens is in Guadalajara and in Jalisco. Google is in Querétaro. Plenty of companies are moving to Mexico City now that we have all this technology that you can work anywhere where you are. So the people is moving to this area because you know Mexico is has this way of life like more tranquil, more quiet, but also bubbly and very great quality of life.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, Guadalajara, so one of the largest, or if not the largest investor in the state of Idaho is Micron Technology. And Micron also opened up a new office in Guadalajara. So I think this is important for all of our viewers to listen to and hear is, Victoria just talked about Google being in Querétaro. So for any of you techies out there or anybody that's thinking about like, maybe I could work in a different place around the world, this is why we're here. We want you to consider these places to be the place where you want to live.
Exactly. And Jalisco, they call it like the Silicon Valley of of Mexico because they have IBM, HP, they have Oracle, etc., etc. A lot of companies that are based in Jalisco and Ciudad de Mexico and Querétaro.
Amazing. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about that. So, like, how do you see the aftermath of the pandemic, and what do you see now as the sectors that have potential growth as of the results of the pandemic?
Well, actually, it's very funny because at the pandemic, the real estate market started to grow a lot in Mexico. Many people from the US and Canada and Europe too, they came to live to Mexico because the quality of life, because the our food is very organic food. So the people wanted to have like all the connections of communication that you can have, but also a good quality of life. Beaches, very near to the cities, beautiful, and connection if they wanted to move to, if they wanted to go to Los Angeles or to New York or to London or whatever, we have those connections. So after the pandemic, and even in the pandemic, the investing of real estate in Mexico grew a lot.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it definitely stirred things up in a way that we didn't think it would because I know like for example here in Idaho, which is what I can speak to, when pandemic came, that was actually there was a lot of movement in the real estate sector as well too because people wanted to, like obviously we had to be in isolation and people were like, well, we have to be isolated in a home. So they started rethinking where they wanted to be and where they wanted to spend their time indoors. So that's incredible. So what do you see as some of the I know you have like the some of the booming regions. Do you want to talk to me a little bit about that? So in
Yeah, it's connected with of what we were talking. We have the industrial cluster, the nearshoring, and the tech hub, which helps a lot. Um, to think about to move, right? Because the people thinks about only not to move from one city to another, or but they have to think about schools. What schools are around the area? Are they good schools? Are they near? Are there they have the level of to put my kids into those schools? Are there hospitals? Are they good? Do they have the level, etc., 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 right? So it's very important to show that yes, we have all that. Even people that comes from another countries, they are amazed of what a great quality of life, not only for food or pretty cities or pretty houses, also great schools, great hospitals, great supermarkets, great connections, great buses, great airplanes, great airports, etc. So it's very important to send that information, right? That we are they have to come to see it and feel it and to see that is very a great location to think about in the future, not only to move but also to invest because so many companies are moving to Mexico, to this region, that the people is looking for rentals, right?
absolutely. Yeah, you're 100% correct. Victoria, now let's move on to a little bit to the regulatory environment.
Yeah.
What key regulatory challenges do foreign investors face when entering markets like El Bajio? And how has the government stance in foreign investment evolved in recent years?
Well, actually, we've been doing this for a long, long time, right? A lot of people here in San Miguel de Allende, for example, Americans start and Canadians they start to move in 1950, right?
Mhm.
So everything is been involved, it's been having evolution. So it's more easy, and that's why now companies like Moxie that they've been doing this for 9 years. Uh, they have mortgages to buy properties in Mexico, right? Actually, that is their expertise to loan to US citizens and permanent residents to buy properties in Mexico because it's a market that is being here, it's been growing from 70 years now. If we count the years from 1950s to now, 2026, it's been more than 70 years. So it's very easy. The government, you have to also, you have to make a step one, a step two, a step three, you have to to make all the regulatory things that you have to do, but it's not difficult. We have lawyers that are specialized in this kind of movements, and so it's not that difficult actually. It's very easy. You can have a big support team to help you to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me just take a step back with my viewers. Now, one of the things that I really love about Victoria is that not only is she very, very acquainted with the real estate market and she's an incredible realtor, but she's also really savvy with loans. And I just want to go ahead and just circle back on that. So, Victoria also works for Moxie as a business development representative in Mexico. And Moxie is an American company that is loaning out to Americans that are looking to purchase in Mexico. And so this right here is the reason why I love having this conversation with her because this all aligns. Every single time I have a conversation with a person about purchasing a property in Mexico, the very first question is there a loan for that? And we're here to tell you, yes, there is a loan for that, and you are meeting your expert today. This is the person that will make that loan happen for you. And do you want to talk a little bit about the options that they have? Go ahead and give them your Moxie elevator pitch.
Okay, let me do it really fast. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared, but here's my slide.
But here is my information.
Love it. Yes.
So we Moxie, we are a mortgage company, global. So we help American citizens and permanent residents to buy properties in Mexico through a mortgage, right? Because we are used to in the United States to use mortgages to buy properties, right? So it's the more smart way to buy a property. I don't know, maybe in 2018, nobody was, or maybe a few companies that were helping to get mortgages to buy properties in Mexico, but not everybody knows that you can do it. So Moxie is working very hard to uh, to talk with agencies, and Americans to say, yes, you can. Yes, you can buy through a mortgage, and the collateral is the property that you are buying. So it's an American mortgage with a little bullets or steps that we have to add to the path to buy a property, because it's an international buy, of course, but it's the route is just the same. It's a 30 years fixed rate, 30 years loan with a fixed rate, sorry, and it's very no balloon payments. It's you don't have to buy all cash. Uh, it's no age limit to buy it, so it's very good mortgage. So you don't put all your liquidity to buy a property in Mexico that you don't know if you are going to stay the rest of your life there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's an excellent opportunity. Excellent opportunity, especially because I know, it opens up people's cash flows.
Yeah.
It gives them an opportunity to continue to save. It gives them an opportunity to experience without having to know that they spent every dollar, just paying all cash for their product. If they can, that's great. But I think that for a person that, has a 5-year plan, it's an excellent opportunity to see, where's my journey going to take me next. So that's wonderful. Well, thank you, Victoria. I really appreciate you talking about Moxie. And, I'm a great ambassador for Moxie. I think that's one of the things that I always tell people. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much bread. So just to reiterate to everyone that is watching us, there's several ways to purchase property in Mexico. Now,
Yeah.
it's cash, it can be through a loan, as Victoria just discussed, and also too, there's developer opportunities. Now, if you have more questions of what that looks like, that's why we're here today. We want you to give us a call. We want you to DM me and say, hey, Denise, I listened to your global podcast and I want to know a little bit more of how that would look like. And then we can connect you to the right type of product as well, too, especially because every need that a client has looks very different on what's the longevity of what they're going to do with it. So have a conversations with us, which moves me to my next point. Cultural considerations.
Yeah.
What cultural nuances should foreign business professionals be aware of when doing business in El Bajío? So give us a little bit of like, um, I'll give you an example. We had a Portuguese lawyer on board who told us, like the timing, it may be a little bit more lax, or, you got to dress a certain way. So give us some tips for business professionals that are looking to, come to El Bajío and do business and do really good business.
Yeah. Well, I think that we have to divide between the business behavior,
Mhm.
Mexican behavior, and between that regular life, right? Because in the regular life, we are a little bit more like chill down, mañana, mañana. That is in the regular life. But in the business side, we are just like in other place. Like we work hard, we are hard workers, we do it, we have the answers right away. It's just the way it is in United States. Of course we have different steps, of course we have different paths, of course, because we are a different country, but we are not that relaxed, maybe like Portugal. We have we are very dynamic in talking about the side of as entrepreneur, as if you come to work with a company or wherever. We are just the way it is in another country.
That's amazing. Well, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Mexico is border to the United States. So the cross-cultural footprint that we have amongst nations, also makes us like a mirror images of the way that we transact,
Yes.
like where we're, in the United States is like information is readily available. Mexico being, our border country, that also too mirrors the effect of, and we have a lot of people that are constantly traveling back and forth too. So that also has, a lot to do with the way that we grow together and the way that we do business. Um, is there
Exactly.
is there
Sorry.
certain holidays that we need to be aware of? Because that's one of the things too when it comes to cultural understanding is, the United States, we basically, like we're running 24/7, but there are certain holidays in which I like to let people know, hey, like this is a holiday. People aren't going to be working. Again, with my latest show, Portugal, there's certain holidays in which people don't work, full weeks. Which ones are the ones in Mexico that our viewers need to be aware of in case they're not getting traction? They know, hey, this is an important holiday.
The Independence Day,
Okay.
which is the 15th of September, no Cinco de Mayo,
No, no
no,
Cinco de
no
Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. Uh, Independence Day, also Primero de Mayo, the 1st of May, which is the Labor Day.
Mhm.
That is another one that nobody works. And of course, in December, the 31st and the 1st of January, and and Christmas also. Those are very important days. I will say that those are the most important. Of course, a few on other days, and in some states, Cinco de Mayo people doesn't work, and uh, the Cinco de Mayo, actually the people works, but the schools, they don't go to school.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very weird because the schools, they don't go to school, but the people keep working. So and I think that will be it. Yeah.
And Victoria, since you touched on schools, can you talk to people a little bit about what the school calendar looks like? Because I know when I was there, I was like, "You're not out for summer, baby." I remember telling Anna, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh no." And I said, "Wait a minute, like our kids have been out since, like May." So tell,
Yeah.
what does the school year look like for you guys? What is the calendar?
The calendar for the lowers, the teenagers, the tweens, uh, the preschoolers, and that is about from August, the last week of August to December, right?
Okay.
the beginning of December. Then the second week of January to the spring break, which
Mhm.
is around the end of March, the beginning of April, because it's a Catholic country, so we use Semana Santa, but not all the time is in the same week. It
Got it.
changes. It changes every year, but it's more or less in that season. And then you get after the spring break and go until July.
Very well.
So you have the half of July and August for summer.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that would definitely break my kid's heart here. There
And
you
the
go.
majority of the school they teach English. I know that I have a Salma Hayek accent, but but we know English since very, very, very young.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for touching on that. And just really quick, what are some essential do's and don'ts when meeting with El Bajio business leaders?
In El Bajio Business Leaders, how's the
Do's and
meetings?
don'ts. Uh-huh, do's and don'ts.
Well, the respect between each other is very important. We are not like the Japanese, like you don't can touch you can touch your hands or whatever. We are not that like tight,
Mhm.
probably. We are more relaxed. I think that we are exactly just like the Americans for that. It's just exactly because you said it. We are very mirror countries. We are loud, we like parties, we like everybody's cousin, everybody's an uncle or an aunt. Like we are very familiar or orientated. But in the business area, we are very, very similar to Americans.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, I did notice too, like, because you said, you talked a little bit about the personal and then professional. And I know for a fact that when I've done business in Mexico, people do want to get to know who you are personally before they decide to take that second step of doing business with you. And I think it's just because we are very hospitable people. And so we want to see, what the person is about before we decide, hey, we're going to sign on the dotted line. So, that's been my experience, but it's been an incredible experience as well too. And a lot of it has been too is over the food, right? Because that's kind of like where we get to have that first meeting over breaking bread and understanding what things are all about, what intent you have when you're coming into the country as well.
It's because we like to know the person
Yeah.
more than no more than the professional. We want to know both.
Mhm.
But the way you behave in a personal way is the way you are going to be in the future in our relation as partners or in a job or you know so that's why maybe yes, you're right, in that part we are a little bit different. We are not that cold. We like to know how do you behave with maybe the waiter.
Yeah.
So if you are a great person with a waiter, that means that you are going to be that with everybody, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's great to know, guys. Okay, so everybody, just kind of a quick roundup. We've talked a little bit about the economic climate, the regulatory environment, conducting business in El Bajío, and then now let's move into the advice for some of the investors. So, what are some of the important advice that you would give someone looking to invest in El Bajío? What would you tell them to be their first step to prepare?
I think that sometimes they come, they love the city because, of course, they are in vacations, right? And they want to, okay, I want to buy that house because I love the people, I love the food, I love everything, right? Thank you for that. I love that you love Mexico. I love that you love Mexican people, but it's better to come, stay maybe 3 months in a rental,
Mhm.
right? Know if you like that area of that city, if you think that is very well connected for you, if you really like the community, come to live it first. Maybe not a year, but 3 months
Yeah.
is very good time to. And this is for more the retiree people, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to meet the exact city that they want to live for the rest of their life. So it's okay, come, but don't buy it in the week that you are having your vacation. Stay for 3 months at least to see if you like it, the city, if you like everything involved of that city. And also, again, you don't have to put all your cash down. You can, it's because it's better through a loan because you have a team involved to help you the house. We are going to look if that everything is in order legally in that property. You have a legal team behind you to help you and to protect you. So I think it is better to buy through a loan and to leave the city before you buy it.
That's really good advice, Victoria, especially because you're right. In the wake of the romance, it's easy to make those hasty decisions and say, yeah, this is it. But I think it's very healthy that, you gonna get a chance to see, like, is this a city for me or is it, somewhere else? And also, you talked a little bit about like, dabbling into using a loan, that definitely helps them so that they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. That's giving them opportunity as well to experience the town itself. So
Exactly. And also do it always with a certified professional
yeah.
because maybe some people don't know, but here in Mexico, not all the agents are certified,
Mm,
right?
that's
So
true.
you have to be careful of those agents because we don't have like in United States that you are in Texas, you only can sell in Texas, and you've been and you did a certification, and that we don't have that here in Mexico. Uh, I am a certified real estate agent, but here, but I can sell also in Los Cabos and in Cancun and whatever. It's okay, but I'm certified. Just be careful of that. The agent be certified because otherwise you don't have the legal support to, if something happens, to go with someone to see, hey, my agent is doing something that is not okay. You don't have that option.
Yeah, I think, you basically touched on the core of why I'm running these global webinars. And a big part of the reason why I came about in this industry was to cover that gap is because when people are looking at making a foreign investment choice, number one, the very first place they go to is Google. And as we said, Google is fantastic, but it can only take you so far. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, you want to be connected with true professionals that have experience. And, especially we're talking a place like Mexico. We want everybody that's out there to be contacting us because we want to connect you with people that have legitimate experience.
Yeah,
Victoria and I have worked in this industry long enough to tell you that we are professional people that see the longevity of our business, but not everybody is vested in that way. And that's why we're coming about with these global webinars is saying, hey, listen, sometimes you're going to go meet this wonderful developer, which you'll have a few margaritas with. Don't sign the dotted line. Do your homework. This is why we're here.
yeah,
We want you to be alert to these options, but at the same time, we want you to be extra cautious when it comes to, who are you going to be working with? And Victoria and I are happy to connect you with them. Once again, that's the reason I started this business. I wanted people to close the bridge of uncertainty. And I wanted to connect him with people like Victoria that are true professionals, that know what they're doing, and that are certified. Let me repeat that are certified and have experience. So thank you, Victoria. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what are some of the challenges and opportunities? What are common mistakes that investors do? Okay, we kind of covered that, right? Because we talked a little bit about like they have to use a professional. Again, guys, Victoria just said this is not heavily regulated like we are in the United States. So that's the reason you have to be more cautious. But
Yeah.
Victoria, can you share some of your success stories of people that have thrived in El Bajío that have moved from the United States to El Bajío?
From people that move from United States to El Bajío.
Yes. Can you share like a success story? Somebody that just jumps out at you and you're like, they were coming from this experience and they moved here and
Well, my brother-in-law,
wait, he's from Idaho.
who is from Idaho, from Boise. He
Isn't
went to
that
the
crazy?
Boise University.
It's a small world, everyone.
It is.
I literally met Victoria and I go, I'm from Idaho. Do you know where Idaho is? And she goes, my brother-in-law's from Idaho. Same town, same town.
Yeah, I've been in Ashton. So this small town in Idaho is
Yeah,
what Mexican has visited that small town. I am. All right. Yeah, well, my brother-in-law, he owns a tequila company now with my sister, Volans. So if you see Volans in Idaho, now you know the sister-in-law.
got it.
Yeah, they had a vision. They start the strategy and they have a very successful company, Volans Tequila, Tequila Volans. And they're actually they sell in whole United States the tequila, and it's very has been very successful. And of course, they connected with exactly people that they had to connect with lawyers and marketing specialists, etc. So yeah, there's very professional people here to help you qualified, certified, again, people to help you, and you can start a business here if you want to, of course, as my brother-in-law did, and can be a tequila brand or it can be a hotel or even teaching English classes, right? So I think that that is a very, very good example of a successful person
You
from
know,
Boise.
and it wasn't just a success as a business. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, this actually started as a love story because they met in college in the United States, right? Him and your sister. And then she just wrangled him in and said, hey, I want to show you a little town in Mexico that you're going to love. And then
Yeah, exactly.
he loved
It's
it.
and my sister went to Los Angeles to study sound engineering, as my brother-in-law did. So they met in a party, and then they still been together. I don't know, from 20 years, maybe more. I don't know. But it's very, very lovely story because that the mother of Chad, which is Lonnie Allen. Uh, she's an entrepreneur, very wise woman. They own the Three River Ranch in Idaho. It's also in part of the tequila brand, Volans, and my dad. So therefore they love tequila. They want and they started as a dream, right? Like, oh, it will be great to have a tequila brand. Oh, yeah. And now they've been in the market, I don't know, over 10 years, maybe. And it's very successful brand.
That's amazing. And guys, Volance is not the sponsor of our segment, but
No, please, Volans.
soon to come. And if you do see him on shelf, please support him. There, it's an incredible story behind. And shout out to Three Rivers Ranch. Is that correct? Three Rivers?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
shout out to Three Rivers here in Idaho. And
Mhm.
Anybody that's watching, this is a story that connects us. This is what it's all about, is this connection, that, here's Victoria, that's many, many thousands of miles away from me, almost in the south of Mexico. And yes, she has connections to Idaho, which is almost to the north, closer to Canada. So small world, but yet is very,
Yeah,
they always say in Spanish, el mundo es de los intrépidos, life is
I
for
know.
the intrepid. So
Mhm.
incredible. Victoria, now, as we're getting, closer to our end, let's talk a little bit about the future trends and development. The vision for 2030 and beyond. How is El Bajio strategic vision influencing business opportunities and investment strategies? What future trends do you foresee impacting the business landscape?
For developers,
I think just in general, because a lot of what we try to do through these segments is, I love real estate as a big part of my focus, but also too, if there's other thriving sectors in aerospace, in healthcare, or things that you see are really making an impact, because it's all kind of connected together, right?
yes, everything is connected. Everything.
Yeah.
Um, I think that health, now that you mention, is very important because we have the infrastructure very well, great, I will say great infrastructure, medical, and it's cheaper here than in United States. And we have doctors, medicals that they are awesome people, awesome people. They actually, I don't know if you remember that this video went viral 1 or 2 years ago about a lady that did a facelift in Jalisco, in Guadalajara, right? And she was like amazed how beautiful went everything, and how cheap, and how it's because we have this we have been stigmatized about oh no, don't go to Tijuana, be careful with, they're not doctors or whatever. But you have to make more research about everything. Don't uh don't get only the first impression that you get from I don't know, news. They take what they want to take to show you, right? Oh no, Mexico is having huge narco problems. Yes, we have, but they're not huge. We are not a country in a war, right? You've been here. You came, I don't know, 3 weeks ago probably, and you saw it's very quiet, tranquil. Everything is smooth, and don't get the first very impression that you see on the news. Uh, the medical side is awesome. We have great dentists, we have great cardiologists, we have great doctors in general. And I think that medical area is growing really awesome. And also, as I said, the Silicon Valley of Mexico, Jalisco, have all the tech and all the technology that you want and need. Is awesome. Now, when you came to the prop tech, you saw it. The people great industries we have here. So yes, don't think that we are a little town with nothing to offer besides the beaches. No, we are a huge country with very high quality doctors, technology, developments, etc.
That's incredible. Yes, and thank you so much for painting the overall picture. I think that you're absolutely correct. I think, when it comes to people reading stories, people have to remember that when they are watching the news, they had a saying that if it bleeds, it leads, right? And that means that people forgo a lot of the positive things that are happening in a nation, and sometimes, they choose to focus on the one bad thing that occurs, which bad things, happen all over. God forbid, we don't want that. But at the same time, Mexico's full of opportunities, and today we're presenting a huge one, and not just in one state of Mexico, through the whole region called El Bajio. There's tech opportunities, there's healthcare, and I think, that's one of the rising stars for Mexico too, is the cosmetic healthcare. Um,
Mm-hmm.
More and more you hear of people, doing the research, as you said, and just, looking at different doctors, because it's actually, it's very affordable for them to do so. I mean, when they look at the cost and just altogether, even with the trip paid, it makes more sense, more financial sense for them to do that as well. Which leads us to our next one, because you're correct. I did attend Prop Tech. Prop Tech is the largest property and technology show in Latin America. And I not only met with executives from Mexico, I met with executives from all over Latin America, Panama, Guatemala, El
Mm-hmm.
Salvador. I mean, everybody that, was a rising star in Latin America was there. And just the incentives that they were talking about technology was beautiful to hear, and all the different things that, how they're thinking about and going about technology. I think it's really transforming the way that, Mexico is acting and doing. I mean, one of the things that stood out to me was meeting Arturo, which is the very first doorman, and he's a very virtual doorman. You install him in, for your Airbnbs, and he communicates with your guest. And just like, just different things that I thought to myself, gosh, I'll be darned. Like, I didn't realize that, this technology was available. And I think
Yeah.
that people has to see and think of Mexico as a very futuristic country as well, you know?
Yeah.
So what are some of the trends in technology that you think, or are you aware of any startups that, that are making an impact, around your town, or something that you just newly came about?
Um, you know, I am thinking about this uh, technology. I don't remember the name. I have the name here.
Like,
I have
okay, don't worry. We can come back to it. Just
the
go ahead.
but yes, there's plenty of uh, Decathlon, I think that is the name. I don't remember now the name, but it's based in Jalisco, in Guadalajara, and it's every year, and you get all the muscle of the technology and information and where the world goes in the future with this technology and that technology, and you can see medical technology, school technology, industrial technology in that ferry that I'm telling you. But I don't remember now the name exactly. I think it's that one, and it's in Guadalajara. It's in Guadalajara. It's a huge one. It's a week and something days, and it's a huge one, and I think that people will love to assist to that one.
Oh, got it. So it's a fair. It's like a
Yes.
conference week type fair where people attend.
Yeah, exactly. You can see robots, and actually, Jalisco has been winning a lot of math medals in high school level. Olympics, math Olympics. And they've been winning the first place, I don't know, from 2020, maybe 2018. They've been winning this first place in robotics in these Olympics in China and Japan, and so yes, it is. That's why they call it the Silicon Valley of Mexico. And if you want technology, you can go to Jalisco or Querétaro. I think those are the cities with more technology. Of course, Mexico City and Monterrey. But in El Bajío, those two cities are huge for technology.
Got it. And this is one of the things that I really want to invite my viewers to do. Now, guys, one of the things that I think is really important when you're running a business or you're having a position in which you have a lot of different responsibilities, if you're looking at problem solving, you have to look at see what other cultures are doing in order to solve those issues. You can't be going about it the same way over and over, right? You have to see like, well, how is Guatemala solving that problem? How is
Mhm.
Japan solving that problem? So this is our invitation to you to step outside of your comfort zone and quit going to the same old conferences and book your ticket to go to Guadalajara and go to this conference and see what they're doing in the robotics industry. What are they doing in the real estate industry? And really go out there and see how other people are doing it because that's what this is all about. It's for you to understand that there's a big world waiting outside for you. And and you could be learning different ways of how to solve some of the problems that you're coming across your desk. Like how are other people doing it? Because you know that if you have the same issue, they must have the same one too, right?
Exactly. And not only for Mexico, for the rest of the world, do a
Yes.
research,
Yes.
connect. No, no, once again, not all the things that you see in the news or the people or the things that you hear from the neighbor or whatever is the truth. Go make a research, connect with a certified people as Denise, and you will know more about what is going on in another countries.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm telling you right now, as you're watching us, there are people making money from taking advantage of these opportunities. And we want you to be one of them too, because we want you to quit putting yourself into that circle of like, oh, no, no, we got to stay here. There are people that are American living in El Bajio, thriving in El Bajio. They're not just living there, they're thriving. When I was visiting Victoria, we met a couple from Michigan who basically have traveled through different spots and ended up settling in San Miguel de Allende because they love the climate, they love the views, they love the food, and they were thriving. So this is what it's all about. If you're looking to expand your world and expand your dollars, this is an avenue for you, and we're here for you. Victoria, as we get closer to our finishing our segment today, can you just share with me a personal story about what shaped your career in San Miguel de Allende? Like what made you decide, this is it. This is where I want to live.
Well, I'm from Guadalajara,
Okay.
and that's why I know a lot of from Guadalajara. But I'm from Guadalajara, and I moved here in 2021, and 21, sorry. And I must say that that was one of the best decisions that I ever made to move to San Miguel de Allende because I love Guadalajara. It's the most Mexican city of Mexico because the tequila comes from there, the mariachi comes from there, you know.
Yeah.
So the jarabe tapatío, the dance is from there. So Guadalajara is Mexico. It's beautiful, but it's too big.
Got it.
There are like 7 million people living there. So some people like that. Some people they don't like that, right? I do like it, but to raise a little girl,
Mm,
I think that it's better to have a small city because she's more free to walk in the streets and is you have a community, a huge community that supports you, that helps you. So San Miguel de Allende has been that city that makes me to have that quality of life that I need now because you make 10 minutes to everywhere. You in here. So if you want to go from north to south, it's only 10 minutes. So that is one of the things that I do like it a lot. And I've been, it's so fascinating, San Miguel, because it's so small, but you have so many cultures here. Europeans, Asians, Canadians, Americans, Mexicans, Colombians, etc., etc. You have so many cultures here that is very fascinating how this small town likes to all these nationalities, right? and it helped me to open my mind to see the how great is to be global, because therefore I live in a small town. I have so many friends from another countries that my mind is global now, right? I used to live in London, yes, but it's global, yeah. But it's so fascinating how in Mexico, in this small town, you can have all these people. So my mind went global, and it shapes me that way in my career to open my eyes, my mind, to connect with different cultures, different people, and to show them how easy it is to do it if you want to do it, to move if you want to move, to invest if you want to invest. Just you just have to do it with the right people on your side.
That's amazing because you went from being in Guadalajara, just a big numbered city, just metropolis, and then you found yourself a global hub in San Miguel de Allende with the tranquility and being able to raise your daughter. And I just remember vividly sitting in line, while we were waiting for Anna to get out of school, and you're like, now they're Russian and they're from London and they're from here. And I was like, wow, so it really is. There's a lot of different nations that are gathered in San Miguel and they're thriving. And as you said, I think the fact that everything is 10 minutes away in range, that also too gives you an opportunity that you can either walk or you can drive your car. And I think that that's also too one of the benefits of having the San Miguel lifestyle is if you can walk to places. I know I spent a lot of time walking in the town and it was fantastic. Now, Victoria, as is there something that you want to share on your PowerPoint slides before I get ready to close up the segment? I have one more question for you, but if there's something you want to present, this is your moment.
Well, actually, I've been moving my slides when we were talking, and I just want to tell you how easy it is to walk the path to a Mexican ownership through a Moxie. I just have to pre-qualify, like in the United States, apply, then we approve. We go to the closing and serve for a long-term relationship with the US monthly payments. It's very easy. Connect with us, connect with Denise if you want to buy in Mexico, and then connect with us if you want to buy through a loan. It's very easy. And the most important, you have a whole team, certified professional, that is working for you to have what you want, to get you what you want to get.
Amazing. Yes. And we work hand in hand, you guys. So when you call me because you're saying, hey, Denise, I want to move, then I'll be the person to connect you, put you in touch with the link for Moxie, just giving you as an avenue. But also remember too that the reason I'm here too is because I'm also here to connect you with the right real estate opportunities, right? Because today we discussed about everything that has to do with El Bajio, but I also want to remind you that my bread and butter is global real estate. So I know that if you're looking for a beautiful courtyard, San Miguel is where it is. And you and I will discuss through a questionnaire what your needs are in order for me to tell you which town suits you better. Sometimes people don't know, where to start. And so I'm here to tell you that I am the very first step to the beginning of your journey. And together, Victoria and I will find you a very unique loan in a very unique place that you will thrive from. So, Victoria, as I get ready to finish the segment, I always finish my segment with asking you one thing, and that is, Victoria Avila, whether it's personal, whether it's business, what is your message to the world from El Bajio?
From El Bajio.
What is your message to the
Okay.
world?
Come, live it, feel it, and you will fall in love of El Bajio. I promise you that. Uh, is because if you want to a huge city, you have it. If you want a small city, you have it. And we are very well connected. So come, feel it, live it, and then contact with us to buy your property.
Bravo. I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I just want to remind everybody that next month we are going to have a segment on Batumi, Georgia. So please stay tuned. And more than anything, I want to thank Victoria. Thank you so much, Victoria, for your time today, your expertise, your incredible knowledge, and more than anything, your kindness. Guys, this lady is an incredible lady. She showed me a magnificent time in San Miguel that I wish everyone would have that experience. And I had just about every kind of meal that I could have out there, and it was delicious. Correct. You got to go, you got to taste it, you got to feel it. And once again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart as your host. Denise Macias, your favorite global realtor. And the lineup for next month is going to be great with Batumi, Georgia. So stay tuned, my friends.
Thank you.